The new transmission is in. Alrighty, so welcome back to Frank's Garage once again. Today we are going to pull the transmission out of the Acura so we can see why it won't go into second and third gear. I did get a few new parts. I purchased these are the lower control arm bushings, sway bar bushings, and sway bar end link bushings and sway bar bushings. And I also got some more OEM Honda parts. Pilot bearing, I guess you would call it. There's a part number for that, for K-Series. I got a new piece of rubber for the shifter fork, and I got the shifter spring, fork spring. I'm hoping these two things will help, and then we'll be able to check the transmission out and see if it needs torqued or if... who knows? But I do have extra trannies over there, and I'm going to change the cables also, so we're going to change it all. So let's get this thing apart. Alrighty, so step one, I got jack stands underneath it. I want to try to remember to measure for axles also so I could put a custom in order for those. I was thinking about pulling this transmission without pulling the turbo kit off and everything, but I think I'm going to pull it just because it's only, what, 5 bolts. It's just so hard to get it in and out of there. It's not hard, but it's heavy. And I think I could take the tranny out without doing that, but there's just so many lines down here and stuff. I don't know, I'll have to think about that for a second. I'm gonna pull the wheels and the axles off real quick. Axles are out. I got the turbo kit off. You know you gotta break a few things. I broke this cover. That happens. I'm waiting on my new valve cover anyways, so I don't really care about that. We're gonna switch it up next time anyways. But just shattered. I've leaned on it. But all I'm gonna do now is pull, the transmission bolts, the shifter cables, all the stuff in the way, and it's almost ready to come out. So we're almost there. I think I got all the bolts out. Tranny's just hanging right now. Should be ready to drop it right out. If it's that easy, I don't know. Yep, there it goes all by itself. I'm gonna have to get underneath it, put it on my chest. So give me a minute, I'll catch back up with you guys when I got it out. Alrighty, she's out. The moment of truth. Let's see what this clutch looks like. I don't know. Let's pull it apart and see. All right, she's out. I don't know if it's supposed to look like this, but that's how it looks. This thing's pretty new. The flywheel, same thing. I'm gonna email Clutch Masters and see what they say about it. Alrighty, so I'm gonna change out the shifter cables, and also I might put a different transmission in just so we can eliminate the problems. But I do have to clean one of these up first because that thing is dirty. Well, this thing is pretty dirty. Let's see if we can get it clean a little bit. She is dirty. Wow. I hear the cat. So I power washed it off. Looks a little bit better. It's not all greasy anymore. Still some spots obviously, but we'll let it dry and see what we can do. And while that's drying, I'm gonna pull the interior apart real quick so I can pull that shifter cables out. So the shifter box still looks all right. So we're gonna pull the cables off real quick and then pull them through. This is either going to be super easy or it's going to be super hard. Hopefully, I'm going to have to get under the car and drop the heat shield. All right. So these are the shifter cables that just came out of the car. I mean, they don't look bad, but I did have that problem once where this piece right here, I'll show you. It's kind of like pressed in there. That stretched out. So I'm gonna look on these other ones and see if that has the same idea. So yeah, they're made the same. It's supposed to be like that, but literally that popped out and I had to pop it back in before. Let me check the last one. Yes, they're all like that, every single one. But we're gonna put a new set in and see how they work. These ones did look the best out of all of them though, the ones that I had in already. There's no zinc left on these. Maybe I'll be able to wire wheel them up. We'll see. All right, I did get a real torque wrench from Snap-on. It's not Snap-on brand, but this will ensure that we're actually torquing this flywheel to the correct torque. I think it's 87 foot-pounds for the flywheel bolts right there, so I'm gonna check those. And I got the shifter cables out here all apart. Over here I sprayed them a little bit, and the shifter bracket, sprayed that a little bit. And we're good to go. Let me torque these bolts down real quick and make sure we're right. So I'm gonna get all the old Loctite off of these. I'm gonna run them through the wire wheel real quick, and then we'll Loctite them and re-torque them. You can definitely tell a difference between this one and the rest. It's got a lot of old Loctite on it. So I'm gonna put in the new pilot bearing, brand new from Honda OEM. All right, I torqued the flywheel bolts to 87 foot-pounds with my new torque wrench. And I'm gonna tie up all these wires and vacuum lines just so they're out of the way. Let's just go check on the rest of our stuff. And I gotta run these cables through, and then I might spray this real quick just so it looks 2% better than it does now. But we'll see. Let me run these cables and then we'll go from there. All right, got this one hooked up. Putting this one in real quick. Can't really do anything with one hand. Oh, maybe. Yeah, but I just gotta twist that locks on, and then it hooks right on right there. And then we're gotta put the pin in, and we're good to go. Alrighty, new cables are in, new cotter pin, everything's locked down. We're good to go. Now we can put the transmission in and go from there. Better than nothing. So now we're just watching paint dry. Can't put it in until it dries. And the sun went down. It's gonna start raining, possibly. So this piece came out all right for not even prepping it and just painting it. I did sand it just like roughly just to get just paint the stick, but that should work out. Painted that real quick too, and we're just waiting for that to dry still. So I don't know who else is excited for this car, because I'm still super excited about it. And the channel hasn't even seen it yet. I mean, you'll see it after I upload the video, but I hear thunder. Yep. So that cuts into our plan of taking this thing for a test drive to make sure we fixed it. But maybe they'll give us time to let this transmission dry. So I guess that's from drag racing. I'm waiting for Clutch Masters to tell me, but a couple people I talked to said no big deal. And that's weird, unless that said shatter. It almost looks like it's hitting the rivets, but I guess that's as clean as she's gonna get. I'm taking the paint off on accident, but I cleaned the disc too, or the pressure plate here. And the rain's coming. I moved the transmission inside. So we're gonna put this in, torque her down. Well, the rain showed up. There's a rainbow too. And a cat screaming. The new transmission is in. I think I got everything mounted in. Well, I have no leftover bolts, so that's a good idea. That's good. Just gotta hook up the grounds and the plugs and all the little stuff. Alrighty, got the new shifter cables in, everything all bolted up. Feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Both axles are in, traction bar is all bolted up. I did the sway bar bushings, or end link bushings also. I didn't do the main ones where they bolt to the chassis yet. What else do we got? Like I said, everything's done over here. So pretty much all we need is tires and the turbo kit, and she's ready to go. I guess I have to go to work tomorrow because no one knows how to work. So that's unfortunate on my day off. I was hoping to get this car done before race day, but I think after work tomorrow I could finish it up and then hopefully go racing. I really wanted to test this transmission, but people are lazy and don't know how to work. Fluid is in, let's start it up. See if it still runs. Alrighty, so that's it for the night. It's like 11:30 right now. Everything works, so all I have to do is put the tires on and then possibly drive it to work tomorrow and we'll test it out. Alrighty, got it all back together. Gonna drive her to work.